Here's a novel concept. For the first time in a long time, the big story in horse racing this week had nothing to do with drug tests or congressional hearings. We start with the best in the biz simply being on the track training. The 4-year-old Kingpin, Curlin. Interesting month for Steve Asmussen's star. He romped by 4 1/4 in the Stephen Foster handicap at Churchill, but it could be the last time we see him on the dirt. That's because he worked well on the turf and now is pointing towards the Man of War at Belmont with a fall target on the famed Arc in Paris. And you see Curlin there on the outside. And while Curlin is having everything fall just right, not necessarily the case with Big Brown. He headed back to the track this week, Janine, for a breeze. What happened?
Well, Joe, Big Brown's first full-speed workout since the Belmont Stakes was really nothing spectacular and not exactly full speed, going 5 furlongs on Wednesday in 106.3. But trainer Rick Dutrow said he was just looking for a nice, easy breeze. And more importantly, he said the horse seemed to be 100% afterwards. Now, co-owner Mike Ivorone told me that this work was less about time and more of a status check in relation to the horse's dismal performance in the Belmont Stakes. And Ivorone said Big Brown's works will become more purposeful as he prepares for his next race. And that's the Haskell right here at Monmouth on August 3rd. Joe?
Oh, thanks, Janine. So they're going to say, hey, it has nothing to do with time with Big Brown and his workout. But I'm sitting next to a guy whose whole career is based on everything to do with time on the racetrack. You buying into this, number one, and also, have you lost a little bit of faith at Big Brown?
I guarantee you they would have rather seen a workout 4 or 5 seconds faster and done easily. That way they know Big Brown is really back. And it is a bit troubling, so we're going to be watching closely the way he trains between now and the Haskell, his next target.
He'll be right here, they're saying, on August 3rd at Monmouth Park. Now, other news that greatly impacts the Classic division deals with Heat Seeker. He was to be the star of our Hollywood Gold Cup broadcast last week. Instead, he was scratched, and now the suspensory injury has forced his retirement. He leaves the track with 7 wins, 3 were graded stakes. Earlier today from Hollywood Park, the Vanity Handicap, Grade 1, mile and 1/8, the Ladies Classic division. Zenyatta has been the emerging star of the older females. A perfect 5 for 5 coming into this. Make it a perfect 6 for 6. Zenyatta. That is a name you will not forget this year. So it's a lot to digest when it comes to these top elite Breeders' Cup horses. You're telling me that Curlin's on the grass. You're telling me Big Brown was timed by a sundial, that Zenyatta looks to be the best in the Ladies Classic division, and that Heat Seeker is now retired. Leaves a lot of questions for the Breeders' Cup Classic, but let's talk about Curlin for a moment. Curlin going after unique history.
It would be unprecedented what he's trying to pull off. You could make the case that the 3 most prestigious races in the world, the Dubai World Cup and the Breeders' Cup Classic, both on dirt, the richest in the world, and the Arc de Triomphe, the most prestigious race in Europe. No horse, needless to say, has ever swept all 3. No American-trained horse has ever even come close to winning the Arc. If Curlin could pull this off, he'd go down in history as one of the greatest of all time.
Quickly, what does it leave us for the Breeders' Cup Classic based on the news we just delivered? As of right now, where does it stand?
I would say right now, it's still a long way to go, but Go Between, the horse trained by Bill Mott, who has proven form on synthetics, would probably have to be the early favorite right now, assuming that Curlin goes to grass and doesn't try the cushion track.